With good reason. It's a favorite of a lot of people's favorite tractors, but my dad bought one brand new in 1947, so it's kind of always been like a soft spot with me for Cubs. But a lot of people like them because they're small, they're still versatile, they still have a lot of utility, so you can store them in your garage pretty handily. But regardless, I'm going to sell my 48 Cub. It's the first Cub I ever bought, and I can't keep everything, so I finally decided over the winter to let one of them go. And so over the course of collecting Farmalls, I've kind of decided to stick with a certain theme, and that's with fast hitch. So I'm only going to have anything with fast hitch. I don't want anything that doesn't have, I don't want any direct connected tractors or attachments anymore. There's just so many things, right? So you have to pick something and stick with it. But regardless, this is a 48 Cub, and this was restored by the previous owner, bolt nut and bolt off restoration. And I've used it here on the farm for about 6 years. So she's a little dinged up, a little scuffed up, but still kind of a diamond in the rough, so to speak. It's really not rough at all. It's got really good tires on it. The front tires are tubed. They are a little bit weather checked, but they still hold air pretty well, so you don't have to worry about those. The back tires are loaded with calcium, and I'm going to have some attachments to go with it. But before then, let's just take a look at the tractor real quick. I just changed the oil and the touch control fluid in it, and I hate to jump on the wagon. With the Cubs, the hydraulic drive is right down there. It's driven off the engine, and so eventually they all fail, and your touch control fluid goes into your crankcase. And if you catch it in time, it's not a big deal. You just drain out some and put some back in, and off you go as far as the oil goes. But I'm gonna just put SA 30 straight 30 weight in the touch control system. That's what it was designed for. And then if it goes into the crankcase, it's not a big deal. It's All right. I haven't started this recently, so I'm gonna turn the fuel on and give it a go. I have a brand new seat cover, and I'm gonna let the owner take it out of the wrapper because I'll likely to get oil on it. Last year I fixed the choke lever, and this has been, as maintained. I've put new parts on it since I've gotten it. A number of new parts: muffler, new switch, battery. Let's see. I rebuilt the carb, the little air cleaner hose that goes on the front, new fuel bowl, fuel line, things like that. This is aftermarket. I got this cap too. But anyway, so choke it a little bit. And these usually start right up pretty quickly. So the only downfall about this Cub, I'm going to walk over here away from the noise for a second. It starts easily and it runs really good, and a lot of times I'll just start it with a crank because it only takes like one crank, but it does smoke, and I'm not going to rebuild it. It runs fine, it works fine, and it doesn't really use oil. I ran it all last year, and I don't think I put a quart in it, and I used it for hay, and I ran it pretty hard. There's some different things people have mentioned to do to try to clean it up without rebuilding the motor, but I'm not going to mess with it. So I'm going to be straight up with it. It does smoke a little bit, so I'll pull it out. I get a bath and degreased today. So it runs really well. Everything works on it. And it's a nice looking tractor. It's clean. It's in nice shape, I think. The tires are loaded on the back, so you don't need weights really. And I've got all the things here to use the flail mower, the mid-mount flail mower. It's a Mott. I've got the 189 two-way plows, and I've also got a 54 grader and leveling blade. So, all right, we won't take too much time with these, but so here's your grader blade. Now it does have to have a little tack weld right there. It still is all together, but I wouldn't use it without brazing that or something. And it does have the little blocks here to go inside where the cultivators go, and it's got all the levers. The only thing that's missing is the boomerang, and you can usually find those pretty easily. You can use it without it, but it does make it a lot easier to lift it. So here's all your stuff for the 189 plows, which you have your right and left plows here. Those are all intact. They have the coulters on them. Those are in nice shape, I think, not worn out at all. So here's your depth control. Here's your two dog bones here. This goes on one side, and then here's your latching bar. And then this right here connects between this and this. And here's the toolbox for the tractor. That it's not rusted out. It just needs to be cleaned up and put back on. This is your belt tensioner for the mower. Here's your stabilizer. Here's the belt. The lift parts on the tractor still. So you can see it's all right on here. And it does have a magneto. The lights work. It charges. Starts really easily. These things aren't broken. The gauges are good. Here's your pulley for the mower. And here's one of your eye bolts. The other one's over there. And then here's the... this came off something else. It just fell down there. This right here is your pulley for the mower. So in the last 5 years or so, I've also done the steering box oil. I did the transmission oil. I didn't do the final drives down the bottom. But those should be done. So everything, most of the fluids have all been changed, new antifreeze. It's always been greased. But anyway, $2,500, best offer. If you want to make me an offer, you have to come here. I don't do offers over email or not in person, because you have to come look at it and then make an offer on it. That's how I roll. So $2,500, best offer. You know how to get a hold of me.